William Seymour preached the same thing. This to give you an idea. Like I said, I'm going to quote a lot of things that will make us feel uncomfortable, but it's to show us the mindset and the attitude that was in these men and women of God. William Seymour said this: if you get angry or you speak evil or you backbite, I care not how many tongues you have. You have not the baptism of the Holy Spirit and you've lost your salvation. Talk about being very, he was very holy. And now, where did he get that kind of doctrine? Well, he got it from John Wesley. John Wesley said this regarding salvation. He says, but this I know with the utmost degree of certainty. He that committeth sin is of the devil. Therefore, thou art of the father the devil. It cannot be denied. For the works of the Father thou doest. O flatter not thyself with vain hope. Say not to thy soul, peace, peace. For there is no peace. Cry aloud. Cry unto God out of the deep, if heaven he may be to hear your voice. Come unto him as at first wretched and poor and sinful, miserable, blind and naked. And beware that thou suffer thy soul to take no rest till his pardoning love be again revealed. Till he heals your backsliding and fills you again with the love that worketh, and with faith that worketh by love. So you see that mentality. These men were men of holiness, and when they preached, and now with the Azusa Street, when you hear about, like, they called the fire department because they thought, oh my gosh, it's on fire. Well, it's because the glory of God felt comfortable there. Why? Because people had laid down every sin they knew of. They were not living in known sin. They had said, Jesus, for me to live is Christ, to die is gain. God, not my will be done, but yours be done. I hunger for nothing but the kingdom of God. That's the attitude these people had. They wanted nothing but the presence and the power of God in their life, and they wanted nothing but to see their loved ones and their neighbors and their friends being saved. And because of that, God moved in. God moves in where there's a passion. Unfortunately, what happened was a man covered for William Seymour when he went out of town. And this man began to preach that people couldn't lose their salvation if they had a little sin here and there. He didn't encourage it, but he basically said, that's not a big issue, Everybody has a little sin. He started preaching a doctrine that was watering down. And you know what happened? It wasn't long before like 80% of the church went after him because it was like a breath of fresh air. Oh, you mean we don't have to watch ourselves, to keep ourselves pure, to stay away from things that are going to lead to more ungodliness? People like that. It's called tickling the ears. It's saying you no longer have to live for Christ. Just live, do what feels comfortable for you. Well, the story is very sad because shortly after that, the Azusa Street fires went down. There was only a very few people there that it actually started. And the man that actually did this, he preached that, there was a few salvations and healings that happened over there too. But it wasn't long before this man got contacted a head cold, and he got fatal pneumonia and died. This man, William Durham. So the thing is when God's glory comes in, it's a very serious and very solemn thing.
Do you want me to read that scripture?
Yes, thank you.
The Lord brought to my mind last night the scripture, which is a special version I use, Good News version. But I hadn't seen it that way before, and it really hit me between the eyes. It really goes along with what I'm saying. And it says, it's on Matthew 13, verses 41 and 42. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will gather up out of his kingdom, obviously Christians, all supposed Christians, all to gather out of his kingdom, all who cause people to sin, and all of them, and all other evildoers, and he'll throw them into the fiery furnace where there will be crying and gnashing of teeth.
Where's this Matthew at?
Matthew 13, verses 41 and 42. So obviously, is one saved, always saved is hello.
Well, amen. And so the thing is God, the power that God's going to confirm. God says in Mark 16, he said in 20, Mark 16, 20, he says, God worked with them, confirming the word. Confirming means to validate, right? Someone's confirming something, they're validating. So God's validating the word, and what we don't see a lot is the word being validated because it's been so messed with. We have preachers out there, they have greater revelations, they've written more books, they've got more doctorates or whatever, and yet you don't see the power in their life. Why? Because they're preaching a man-centered gospel instead of a Christ-centered gospel. Christ-centered gospel says, I'm no longer my own, I'm bought with a price. I'm not going to live for myself, I'm going to live to glorify God.
Amen.
That's what Jesus Christ, when you think about what Jesus did, God came in the flesh, died on a cross, was mocked, was humiliated, he was naked on that cross, they beat him. Isaiah says he was so marred he didn't resemble a man, his flesh hung from him. He did that for us. That when we come to Christ, we say, Jesus, since you died for me, I'm going to live for you. That's what Christianity is. Christianity means Christ-like. But what is it that sin brought into the world? It brought sickness. So now through Jesus Christ, through the atonement, we have a cure for all sickness. I don't care what it is. And I will prove it to you. The first thing people ask is it God's will to heal all? I mean, aren't we being presumptuous if we think God's going to heal everybody all the time? Yes, He will. That's God's will. You know, when somebody goes to the altar for salvation, you don't say to them, well, I hope it's God's will to save that person. Has anybody ever asked that? No, because we know it's God's will to save them. It's in the atonement. Healing is in the atonement. Exodus 23, verses 25 and 26 says, and you shall serve the Lord your God, and He shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. Basically, God's saying, if you serve me, you're going to have a long life. Your womb isn't going to be barren. You're going to have children, and you're going to have a long life. That's what God says. God's saying everything's going to go well for you. He didn't say that you wouldn't be persecuted, because that's not part of the thing. The point of the matter is we can have deliverance, we can have assurance, and we can have restoration during those bad times. Psalms 90:10 tells us that we can have a long life. Psalms 91:16 says, with a long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalms 103, 1-3 says, bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless His holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all of His benefits. What are His benefits? Who forgiveth all thine iniquities. So how many sins will God forgive? All of them. Who healeth all thy diseases. How many diseases will God heal? All of them. Why? Because in Psalms 107:20 it says He sent His word and healed him.
Amen.
So if God sent His word and healed him, that means we're healed. John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld the glory of the only begotten. This is why when people came into direct contact with the living Word, they only had to reach out and touch Him. They didn't ask for permission. Look at the woman with the issue of blood. She could have been stoned, and yet she had this presumption that said, if I can touch Him, I'm going to be healed. I'm not going to be stoned. You weren't supposed to be out in public with an issue of blood. That was unclean. You know, if you check with the Jewish customs and stuff. And yet she knew that if she could get to this man Christ, the one who was supposed to be the Son of the living God, that was the Word made flesh. She could touch that Word and she would be restored and made whole.
Hallelujah.
If we get this revelation, then the sickness will not be able to touch us any more than it could touch John G. Lake or Jesus. And the only reason it wouldn't touch John G. Lake is because he knew who he was in Jesus.
Hallelujah.
The problem is that Satan comes and says, who do you think you are? Are you someone special? No, I'm someone bought by the blood of the Lamb, and I know that the blood is special.
Yes.
And I know that you can't get through the blood, Satan, so you got to go knocking on somebody else's door. And normally that's what happens when a doctor will try to speak something over you saying you have such and such. The minute you go in agreement with him, you might as well have just signed the package of delivery. Say, okay, where do I sign? You see, but when somebody comes to you with a package and you don't want it, if it's a box of snakes, and they say, you want to sign for this? You say, no, I'm going to sign for it. Get out of here. I don't believe in snakes. And you shut the door. That's the way we have to be with sickness. We have to say, I don't believe in that. I'm not under that realm. I'm redeemed. I can't be under that realm. That's why when Satan tries to tempt me to sin, I say, no, I'm dead. You can't tempt me to sin. I'm dead. You can't get a dead man to sin. You can't get a dead man to get mad. You can't get a dead man to try to take vengeance out on himself. Go into a funeral home one of these days and look at a corpse and try to get him upset. Just say, you know what? Whoever did you up didn't do a very good job. You don't look very nice. Your tie's not right. You know, he's not going to get upset. He's going to sit there. He's oblivious to what you say. That's the way we need to be when Satan tries to tempt us. When Satan says, well, you need this, you need to do that. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful if you could do this? You say, you know what? To me, for me to live as Christ, to die as Ed, it's wonderful to be in the presence of God. And as we get to that place, just as, you see, sin is seductive, just like holiness is. You ever notice that the more in the Word you get, the more in the Word you want to get?
Yes.
You get in there and pretty soon you don't even want to put it down. You're like thinking, I got to eat. But you're thinking, oh, jeez, I don't want to put this down because I know once I put it down. And the more you get into prayer, the more you want to pray, the more you start lifting your hands, the more the glory comes in, the more you want. And it's just like you get lost in time. You say, oh God, let's say